What's up, everyone? Welcome to Normal American Show. Host robnoerr. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. I'm doing great. Got to do the extravaganza with my friend the himbo, Jake Rattlesnake's doing well. It's a very different feeling. You guys, by the way, if you're not following the Crucible and Rumble, you should. I think the extravaganza show is phenomenal. Nice mix of humor plus talking about the issues of the day. Maybe you would know my opinion of Trump putting an image of himself as Jesus if you watch the extravaganza. Now, I'll talk about it here. Sure, why not? But it was a fun show today. I finally got to use my micro penis joke on Mr. E. Finally! I've been saving it up for a long time. So, that's gold, right? That's fucking gold. There's nothing like a micro penis joke. By the way, if the show goes out, there's a bad thunderstorm here, so if my power goes out, it goes out. Nothing I can do about that. So, but man, am I wrong? Are there any guys out there? There's nothing like just insulting your friends. It's the fucking best. Amazing feeling. We got the Eric Swalwell thing today. He's resigned from Congress. We got the Iran. Trump's like, I'll see your blockade and I'll blockade your blockade. I think someone else should go and blockade the blockade of the blockade. Let's do it. Let's see how far we could get down the rabbit hole. The blockade inception. Right? That'll be fun. What about the Pope? Trump putting pictures of himself out there. He claims it wasn't of him as Jesus, it was him as a doctor. Please. And he's fighting with the Pope. My goodness. What is Trump doing? I saw Mark Halperin, who I like, was like, dude, if Trump picks a fight with the Pope, he's screwed. I'm not so sure. We'll talk about it. I say that as someone who sort of goes to a Catholic church. I don't consider myself Catholic, though. Hot tea. Oh. Pirates looking good. Yeah. I haven't watched one game yet this year. I need to get on that. You know, the thing about baseball, no one gives a shit about this. It's all professional sports, at least in the United States now. I don't even know where the fuck to go to watch it anymore. Like, when I was growing up, there was a channel, and that was it. That's where the games were. Now it's like, well, if you want the cable package with the, Pittsburgh Sports Net or whatever the fuck it is, it's going to be like $283, and plus it comes with 200 other channels that you don't want. Or you can get the MLB app, but you can't watch local games on the MLB app unless you use a VPN, but then sometimes it still doesn't work. It's a big mess. I don't know. Anyways, there is some good news today. I have several good news. I had a great day with my son. So I pick him up from school. This morning, he actually was like, we're like, who do you want to take you to school, dad or mom? And he says, I want mom to take me to school and dad to pick me up. I say, okay. So I pick him up, and he's like, let's go to the store and buy spaghetti and make spaghetti tonight. Now, when he does spaghetti, it's not really spaghetti. He likes just like buttered noodles. He doesn't like a sauce on it. But I was like, sure. So we start going there, and he's like, nah, let's go to Burger King. He likes going to Burger King because he could use the fountain drink machine himself. So I was like, all right. So we had fun. We went to Burger King, had a lot of fun. They got this like goofy channel, and I've seen this at other stores or like bars or restaurants. It's this like goofy channel that they'll play on the TVs that's just like, it's almost like Vines. You remember what Vines were? It's like little short videos, but it's all like, I guess, like wholesome stuff. So like we watched this dude spinning like 5 basketballs on his fingers. He thought that was cool. So I had fun with that. Wrongfully, please, English only, sir, or we'll have to ban you. I can't police the chat if people are using a language I don't understand. So only warning, Just letting you know. Oh, Aquades, you posted an article about Brian Shapiro. Oh my goodness. Good stuff. And then later tonight, as my son went to Fort Tone, by the way, I slandered you in the worst fucking way today. Like, for real. I owe you a huge apology. Because I got your name mixed up with someone else. And I just heavily apologize. It was cleared up before there was any. I was like, this shitty thing happened. I think it was this guy Vortome. And the person I was talking about, I was like, I think because it's someone who started with a V. And I was like, who the fuck? And the person was like, Vortome. I was like, yeah, maybe that's it. And then we started. I was like, no, fuck. It took like 2 minutes. I was like, no, that's not it. So it's fine. But for a minute, I was like, oh, shit. That was Coach Mim. My son read me a book tonight. It was called Brown Bear, What Do You See? I'm finding that when it comes, like, he knows all of his letters now. He's doing very good with his letters. But with reading, it really helps to have something that's like repetitive that he could memorize. And then he's looking at the words and he already has memorized what they say. So this particular book, it's like, it follows a pattern. It's like, brown bear, what do you see? And then there's a little thing you slide and it'll say, I see a red bird looking at me. And then the next page is red bird. Yeah, see, Mr. Bosco gets it. And so he was so excited to read me this book. I thought it was the coolest shit. I really liked it. I didn't know that was a classic book, but yeah, he loves that book. And then they also have these books that's like, they'll have these buttons that you could press for sounds on the side. So we got him this Spider-Man book. And it's a very simple plot, but he enjoys it. Peter Parker gets off school. Spoiler alert, if you haven't read this Spider-Man book. Peter Parker gets off school, and he goes to his job at the Daily Bugle, and J. Jonah Jameson wants him to get pictures of Spider-Man. So he dresses up as Spider-Man, and then he goes and he faces off against the Vulture, the Sandman, and the Lizard. And then he takes pictures of all of them when he beats them, but then forgets to take a picture of Spider-Man. So he hurries up and does it, and then gets the pictures to Jameson, and Jameson's like, these are so good, it almost looks like they're fake. The end. Yeah, well, there you go. I ruined it for you. Hooked on Phonics. I remember that from when I was a kid. But yeah, so that was fun. And then the other good news is I'm 95% of the way back to getting my X account. It is mine now. I changed the password. That's all good. But it won't let me get into my DMs. It says I need a code. So I got to look into that. I'm not too worried about it, but anyways. So that's where we're at. Pretty good news. Oh shit, now I have a problem. This is the last day I'll be using my backup X account, but I have some stories saved there that I need for tonight. So, yeah. The money you gave me for crypto, and it's gone. That's one of my favorite South Parks. And we'll just put your money in here and invest it in this portfolio, put it on the blockchain, and it's gone. What? I'm sorry, your money's gone. It didn't do so well. So remember, that interview will be Wednesday. But I'm having a great day. I hope you all are as well. We're going to start talking about Eric Swalwell today. He resigned from Congress. And that's a story, but, you know, all of these people, right, that he supposedly, all these staffers come out now. They're talking about him. So we're going to talk about that. I think there's a bigger story behind it. Not just of sort of Democrat corruption, but also, more importantly, the mainstream media and the corruption. So we'll talk about that. Meanwhile, we're going to try to get to our goal of $357 tonight. We'll take more, don't get me wrong, but that's the idea. Apple Logitech gets it. They're always playing the cool, the chungus stuff, wholesome clips of Burger King. My son liked it. So, what do you guys think about the Swalwell thing? It's weird. So now we have like all these staffers that have came out against him. If you missed the story, it's, Eric Swalwell, who's been one of the most vocal anti-Trump Democrats since like 2018. Of course, he banged this Chinese spy named Fang Fang, right? Yet he was somehow still left on the Intel committee, which is insane anyways. Now you have all these stories coming out that all these staffers are like, most of the allegations aren't like the most heinous. He is accused at least, and there is a criminal investigation apparently in New York of the most heinous sexual assault allegation. So there's one of those. Most of it, though, is just he was known to be like a fucking creepy sex pest. Like sending dick pics, pinching asses, hitting on all of the staffers, hitting on people's wives, shit like that. And this was known. And, these women were treated like shit. I can't do this. I can't do this tonight. I can't talk about this. Look, I'm as bad as anyone that saw the whole Me Too thing. And look, there were people that were shitty with the Me Too stuff, right? And made shit up. But I think that poisoned it for a lot of us that were looking at this and didn't understand just what these victims, these women went through. And now I have to sit here and talk about this stuff and pretend that my day was good and shit. It wasn't. It was a terrible day. I should just shut up. I should just end the fucking stream. Listen. I know people have been asking me if I've been feeling all right lately, and I've been short with some people when I was debating and shit. It's not easy to talk about. I don't know what to say. So I just ask that you just bear with me. I didn't know how to put it into words. So I collaborated with my friend and I just wanted to put this to song for you.
Humbly debating folks online, talking politics and chatting about life. When I got noticed by the coolest of chats, a radio host with an image that was rad. But then things turned and I got burned. He got angry when he got spurned. Brian Shapiro asked to see my penis. He growled his demand like it was his deepest wish. He threatened to box me and proceeded to berate. And now I'm the victim of this terrible penis gate. I cried to myself in my second floor attic. My entire life just now feels like it's static. He says it's about a thing called respect, but it treats me as if I'm just an object. He said he wants to help me, but he just wants to see my weenie. Brian Shapiro asked to see my penis. He growled his demand like it was his deepest wish. He threatened to box me and proceeded to berate. And now I'm the victim of this terrible penis gate. Brian Shapiro asked to see my penis. He growled his demand like it was his deepest wish. He threatened to box me and proceeded to berate. And now I'm the victim of this terrible penis gate.
It's been really tough coming on here and trying to do these shows. You don't know what it's like to have a powerful syndicated radio host demand to see your penis. And when I'm reading these stories about these alleged victims of Eric Swalwell, I can't help but be re-traumatized all over again. It's one thing to have a regular person do something like that to you, but someone that literally hundreds of thousands of people listen to a day. I just don't know how I could keep streaming. I'm trying my best. I just want to show you something. I know everybody's, half of you think it's funny. I don't see it that way. I think maybe if you see how intimidating he is, and maybe you'll understand a little more. What would you do if that man asked to see your penis? What would you do? For him, it's just, I'm just another victim, another object. For him to be amused. He goes on, talks to 500,000 people a day on his radio show. I feel like I'm defenseless. Then he threatens to box me. Someone sent me this link. Now imagine, I want you to imagine this. A monster like that asked to see my penis. Is he being punished? No, he's being celebrated. This is from a New York Times accolade that they put out about him. Spoiling for a fight, or at least an argument worthy of viral video. The liberal radio host Brian Shapiro sidled up to a folding table where two members, that's what he is, menace. Two members of Turning Point USA, Arizona State University chapter, were disseminating literature about the conservative group and its founder, Charlie Kirk. I'd like to ask you some questions about Turning Point, Mr. Shapiro said, as a colleague began to record the encounter. Did you agree with Charlie on, transgenders and guns and all that stuff? The two students looked at each other. I'm here representing an organization, one finally said, making it clear he wasn't interested in any video viral otherwise. We don't make comments on things. Okay, that's cool, Mr. Shapiro said quickly, backing off. These two Turning Point members were lucky. It's a good thing this was in public. How close was he to asking to see their penis? We don't know. When will he think about the destruction he's leaving in his wake? How can little people like me, who's being demanded to show their penis, stand up against someone who has an audience? 5 million people a day listen to him on his radio show. I just don't know when it'll stop. So I've been seeing a counselor, trying to work my way through this, but I ask you, please just bear with me in this time. My therapist tells me maybe super chats will help if we get to 200% of the goal or something like that. Really, she said that super chats over $100 really are the ones most likely to help. But she's just not sure. Even that, she said. What's a super chat to a little streamer like you when he's going up against a guy who's a syndicated radio host that 50 million people a day listen to? So I'm going to try to put it out of mind for the rest of the show. Hopefully you respect. I can't even say that word, respect. can't say that. It's not about respect. Brian always says, I hang out with Michael Knowles. I hang out with Jack Posobiec. Did he tell them he asked to see my penis? So we're going to move forward with the show. I'll read some super chats here, and then I promise we'll move forward with the show. But just know I'm fighting this battle. I am. And I hope I make it through. Get a drink. Okay. Thank you so much. Zach Gelpy, thank you for $10. Says, if you donate just 65 cents a day, it'll help Rob meet his goal. Thank you. Kyle Rana Mile gives $1.65. Thank you so much. Beatrix Rumford, $10, says, there are no words. I'm sorry this happened to you. Thank you. Your support means a lot. AJC, thanks so much, man. $20. We're here for you, Rob. Never let a ginger leprechaun again traumatize you. Share your story to the world and never let them do it to anyone else. Hashtag me too. Hashtag Peengate. Vita, $2, says, I'm literally crying. I know. I'm trying to keep it together and not cry. Triple X says, I'm not here for you, Rob. Look at what you're wearing. Sorry to disappoint you, but thanks for the $5. Fruit of Apologia, $5, says, Brian Shapiro got that extra read all about it looking hat. I know. The newsy cap. Naughty Germ, thank you so much as always for your support. For $5, thank you. GG, $2, says, so brave. Hashtag Rob2. Hashtag show me. Hashtag Tacoma. You got to laugh at just how terrible the whole thing is. Golly G. Willikers, thank you for being a member for a month. Says, stay strong. Thank you. I will. Vortome, $10, says, I may not know enough about the YouTube algorithm, but it's strange that Brian's channel has an average of 5,000 views on his stream and under 15 total comments per vid with 170K subscribers. Am I off? I don't know. A man that strong? Are you going to be the one to accuse him? What if he asks? I can't even say it. AJC, thank you for being a member. Says, never seen such a travesty in my 7 months as a member. It's been tough. And then Vita, $5, says, worst part about Brian asking to see Rob's is the hypocrisy. Well, the worst part is asking to see Rob's, but the hypocrisy is still pretty bad. Yeah. I thank you so much for the comment. MT Alex over on Rumble says, the New York Times is always wrong. Shapiro is not a liberal. It qualified him as a liberal radio. Of course, that's true. The New York Times screwed up. Okay. We have to move on. We have to move on. I can't be known for this the rest of my life. I'll be like Monica Lewinsky or, Juanita Broderick, Alyssa Milano, robnoerr. I have to overcome that and make my own name. I can't just be that guy that was the victim of Penisgate. Paula Jones, I can't be that guy. Lesson Sal, $2 says, maybe Brian's a penis connoisseur. He admires them. All right, what were we talking about? Eric Swalwell. Ooh. So Eric Swalwell, I need a palate cleanser. Just give me a second. Come on. You can do this, bro. Okay. Paul, thanks for the $2. Ask if I pulled Brian's string. I don't think so. Zach Gelpy, $10. Thanks. Says, hey, you need to show the world your blue dress, Rob. Can't do it. I just need just 1 second. Just one drink. Just one drink. It'll be better. Just one drink to numb this. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Eric Swalwell. So there's all these women. Again, there's one allegation of sort of a heinous sexual crime. The rest of it's just sort of ranges from like inappropriate comments to sending nudes, etc. Now, I think there's several things to talk about surrounding this. The first is, I think there's a lesson here in just what it means to be part of the party. We talked about this a little yesterday. I promise I'll get to the super chats. I will. Solzhenitsyn talks about this. When you were a member of like the Bolsheviks, a member of the party, the rules didn't apply to you. Because after all, you're moral, you're good. This is cultural Marxism in a nutshell. White people, oppressors, everyone else oppressed. Men, oppressors, women oppressed. Christians, oppressors, everyone else oppressed. U.S. citizens, oppressors, others oppressed. And on and on and on and on. If you are from the victim class or the oppressed class and you are against the oppressor class, the rules don't apply to you. The ends always justify the means. Always. And so you can clutch your pearls about something like blackface. It's unforgivable. Except if you're a member of the party, like Jimmy Kimmel, Justin Trudeau, etc., no problem. Blackface away. Who gives a shit? See, they're good people. I even had debates where people said, Make America Great Again is a racist slogan. Did you know Bill Clinton used that slogan in his first campaign for president? Well, it was different, they said, because Bill Clinton's not a racist. You see? Trump's a racist. How do I know? Because he said, Make America Great Again. Oh, so saying Make America Great Again is racist? Yep. Well, Bill Clinton said it. Yeah, but that's not racist when Bill Clinton says it. How do you know? Because Bill Clinton's not a racist. See how that works? They'll cancel you for wearing, remember that physicist that got canceled for wearing a fucking shirt that his friend made him that just had girls in bikinis on it, like a Hawaiian shirt? They'll cancel you for that. Meanwhile, they do whatever the fuck they want to exploit the male body, the female body. It doesn't matter. Does not matter. So I could play you clip after clip of Eric Swalwell talking about, oh, believe all women. And in fact, maybe I'll do just that. I think I have some of them saved. It'll be a little odd for a day or two until I get my X account totally figured out. But here's Swalwell talking about Kavanaugh in 2018. Let me share the screen. I'm sorry.
What are the chances that 3 or 4 women independently who never met each other would have similar experiences with one person? So either, Ari, this person committed these horrific acts, or he is the single unluckiest person in the world for these people to conspire and make up lies against him. But it's a very hard case to make, right, the more allegations that come in.
Oh, okay. Well, some 50 staffers and such have came forward talking about how Eric Swalwell's a piece of shit. Here's Eric Swalwell last month talking about why he cares about the Epstein case so much.
You don't have to be a father of a little girl to care about the women who were exploited in this case. Everyone is sickened by it. I am a father of a little girl, and my promise to the victims is I will do everything along with my colleagues on the Democratic side to seek justice in this case.
See, I think I have more. Let's see if I can find one more. Couple more. Here's at the height of Me Too, Swalwell.
No, it's false, and also, some of the allegations I've seen, which is that we've had NDAs in the office. There's never been an allegation, and there's never been.
This is why sexual assault survivors don't come forward. We've had enough of Donald Trump mocking those who are suffering. It's not okay. Oh, okay. More on him about Kavanaugh.
I saw continued demeaning of victims of sexual assault, people who deserve to be heard, who deserve for their allegations to be investigated. For Brett Kavanaugh's sake, if he is innocent, I hope tomorrow he opens his statement and says, you know what, bring in all the victims, allow them to be heard, allow them to be questioned. That will clear his name if he's indeed innocent, and if he's not, for the sake of the credibility of the court, I hope that the senators would vote against him. I saw...
Oh, well, there you have it. Now, the point is, the lesson isn't just for Eric Swalwell. He's learned the lesson now. The lesson's for all of those that play this game. How many people voted to release the Epstein files and clutch their pearls about that in Congress, who then voted against releasing the congressional names in the Congressional Slush Fund that used your tax dollars to settle claims of sexual harassment, sexual assault, etc. from members of Congress? How many of these pieces of shit are hiring hookers and having affairs and sexting their own staffers and sending lewd photos? And yet, without batting an eye, they'll go in front of the cameras and shake their fist and stand on their soapbox and say, oh my goodness, this is outrageous. It's shameless. The truth is, these are the exact type of people that are allowed to succeed, because then they become useful, because you then have to toe the party line no matter what, or else they'll throw you under the bus. And that's the lesson of the Bolsheviks. Being a member of the party comes with incredible benefits. The rules don't apply to you until you're more of a liability than you are an asset. And that was Eric Swalwell's real crime. Swalwell didn't play ball when it come to the California governor election. Now, what was going on was this. It's a bit confusing, but in general, California has a system where the top two candidates face off in the general election. Now, it isn't the top Republican versus the top Democrat. It's literally the two that had the highest votes. So it could be two Democrats, it could be two Republicans, etc. Right now, California, known to be possibly the bluest of states, it's up there if not. If the election were to happen today, at least, well, as of last week, I don't know about today, it would have been two Republicans facing off in California, which would mean it would be inevitable that there would be a Republican governor of California. Now, that's no good for the Democrats. They can't have that. So they've been applying pressure, and they chose Katie Ford as the person that they want. What's going on is there's a bunch of Democrats in the field, but basically Swalwell and Katie Ford are the two frontrunners and the two that will have a chance to eventually be governor. And so they wanted Swalwell to drop out, and he didn't. Okay, there's an answer for that too. So, all of the protection that Eric Swalwell and all of his infidelities that have been occurring for over a decade, all of a sudden, we're just going to shine a light on that. What did I say, Katie Ford? I meant Katie Porter. Not Katie Ford. Katie Porter. And she is a lunatic. So now, Swalwell, and it's... I don't feel bad for Eric Swalwell. Don't get me wrong. Some of these allegations might be shit. Might be bullshit. Like, the actual criminal allegation that accuses him of, like, the most heinous form of sexual assault, I'll be honest, unless there's more details to come forth, it basically reads like a lady that had voluntarily gone on dates with Eric Swalwell, who then got drunk, blacked out, woke up, realized she had intercourse, and then 10 years later says, I was assaulted. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe Eric Swalwell was drunk as well. Maybe she initiated it while they were both drunk. Who knows? But these are the stories you hear all the time that you have to raise your eyebrow. If a guy claims 10 years later, you know what? I think I blacked out. Did that chick hook up with me? People would laugh in his fucking face. But if a lady says that, but it doesn't matter if the allegation's true or not. Because the way the game's played in politics is the allegation itself, if pushed forth by enough people, particularly in the Democrat Party, but also true in the Republican, is enough to bury you. And that's where Swalwell finds himself. He's probably very fucking confused. I understand. It was like some of those Somalians that got busted, the one or two, in Minneapolis. Their first thought had to be like, why the fuck are we getting busted? Everybody does this shit. Why us? And they're right. That is the biggest, worst kept secret. The fraud is rampant. All of these programs are rampant with fraud. If everybody's doing it, if everybody's driving 100 miles an hour and you are and the cop pulls you over, even though you're driving 40 miles over the speed limit, you're like, hey, what the fuck? Why me? That's how Swalwell probably feels right now. Why me? You think he doesn't know other Congress people that are involved in this shit? Remember the DC madam that mysteriously died? Remember that? You don't think this shit's happening all the time? So part of Swalwell's going to be like, what did I do? Well, you didn't play ball. Yeah, but 99% of the time I did right, but you had to play 100%. When you sell out, whether because you're being blackmailed or you just want money and you're a sellout piece of shit, well, they own you. That's it. Now, I saw Jonathan Turley talking about this, who's a great legal scholar I follow. He's like, listen, Swall was in a lot of trouble because he has a law degree, and so he can fall back to practicing law, but he's going to have trouble doing that because he has a criminal case now out of New York about these sexual assault allegations. And he's persona non grata with the Democrats right now, so for the short term, you're not going to see him on CNN or MSNBC. So he's going to have to just go away. Now, I hope that everyone else that plays this game with these establishment types understands you too will be buried. If not in your life, after your life. Like when Bill Clinton dies, you understand there's still the smallest amount of utility for the Democrats with Bill Clinton, right? He still goes around and does fundraisers and shit like that. When he dies, universally the Democratic narrative is going to be like, he was a womanizing piece of shit. He should have been called. That'll be the narrative. His legacy will be shit. That's the way these games go. It's ubiquitous on the left. I always say, I think it's funny. Like, imagine being like Jay-Z and going to the White House to see Barack Obama. And you're singing songs like Big Pimpin' and all these songs and shit. And you're watching the left go after the song Baby It's Cold Outside. Isn't there part of you that's like, man, I'm fucked in the future when they decide to look at rap? Right now, rap's cool. It's hip. It's helping the left. But someday, years later, they're going to look back and go, oh my God, the White House, the misogynist Obama White House brought this guy to the White House? And all these fucking heroes of the left, these celebrities, your Snoop Dogg's, your Jay-Z's, all these dudes, they're going to get buried. That's why at least you respect the ones that are just like, man, fuck you, like 50 Cent. Good for him. So that's the lesson. Now, there's more to hear here. The Democrats are now out there going to be like, see, we hold our own accountable. For days, the official Democrat position was basically this. He should resign his gubernatorial campaign. Swalwell should. Okay, how about resign from Congress? They didn't have much to say about that. Why? Well, because that affects them. Him resigning from governor helps them. Him resigning for Congress, maybe, maybe not. So they had to wait and hear what the party line was. Because every one of these motherfuckers is fake. They don't give a shit about alleged victims of sexual harassment or sexual stuff. They don't give a fuck. They, just like Swalwell used to be, is looking for the cue. What am I supposed to say about this? Just tell me. What's the party line? How the fuck could you put a statement out saying this guy should stop his campaign for governor, but not resign from Congress? Can anyone make that make sense? This person, C3 on X, they put it. Photo 1, a person too perverted to be governor. Photo 2, a man not too perverted to be congressman. Could someone explain it? So now we have to listen to Democrats go, we held our own accountable. You did not. You weren't forced to vote on expulsion. You were fucking shamed for your obvious bullshit take. And how tepid it was. Well, him running for governor is hurting us there, so he should withdraw. Congress, I don't know. I just don't know. Fuck you. See, this is constantly. I'll tell you right now. Fuck Black Lives Matter. Fuck the Me Too movement. Fuck all these fucking movements. I don't care. Are there things within those movements that I could say, I see a point? Of course. But I found those movements to be politicized, greedy, not interested in the truth. And I said it publicly. And will continue to do so. And got a lot of shit. But if I was a member of that group, at least someone like me's honest for my disdain. Imagine allies like the Democrats. Oh, yeah, hashtag me too, hashtag believe all women. 1 second, I have to see what the DNC tells me I'm supposed to say about this situation. 1 second. What the fuck is that? That's bullshit. That's not people that actually care about these alleged victims. They don't give a fuck. It's all just power. That's it. And I can handle that. I can handle the people that are like, here's what we should do for power. At least I can handle it. It's like over and over. Like, I get so fucking tired of like having to argue with people. No, the Democrats and the people that were saying sending all this money to Ukraine did not give a fuck about the people of Ukraine. Maybe they were like, sure, as an individual, I don't want to see death. But as a holistic group, that's not what it was about. I'm tired of this faux fucking moral grandstanding. Actually, guys, both sides do it. We know that both sides do it. Actually, we know that. I don't know if you knew this, but both sides do it. Did you know that? Excuse me, I have something to say. Both sides do it. I don't know if you knew that. Did you know that both sides? Did you? I think I'm smarter than everyone here. Both sides do it. Yes, it's absolutely true, particularly when it comes to the establishment Republican Party. That is true. That's part of what I said about establishment globalists. The Democrats are worse, though, because they embrace all of these causes with the alleged oppressed victims, whether it be trans people, whether it be immigrants, whether it be Me Too type victims. You really don't see anywhere near that effort when it comes to sort of the other side. For example, I don't recall a bunch of right-wingers beating their chests about Black Lives Matter. There were some of like the establishment Republican class. I don't recall. Who are the prominent right-wing Me Too advocates? Go ahead. Please, go ahead. Are you saying that both sides don't do it? Is that what you're saying? Is your claim that there haven't been people on the other side that have done it? Is that your claim? It's clear that there have been people on the other side that have done that too. So, I don't know if you knew that. Maybe I'm smarter than you. I don't know. Both sides do it. In fact, we should never criticize one political side for anything, because the truth is both sides do it, like, all the time. So you can't criticize them. Fair point. Yeah. We got you, Donnie. Wow, man. You're too smart for us. Got it. And then the group that's probably the most contemptuous in all of this is the fucking press. Now, I don't know if I have all the posts, but there was just post after post after post after post after post of people from the mainstream media. All sorts of people. Oh, we knew about these accusations for 10 years. It was a huge open secret about Swalwell's mistreatment of women. Okay, why didn't you say anything? Well, this woman Bethany I saw, that wasn't my beat. That wasn't my job. It wasn't my job. Excuse me? So let's work this through. So your argument is, you knew that women were accusing Eric Swalwell of this. You were outraged, but because it wasn't your job to cover Eric Swalwell or Democrats or whatever the fuck, and you were on a foreign policy beat or whatever, you were like, never mind. Did you willingly work for an organization that intentionally covered up the abuse of women so you could cash a paycheck? That's fine. That's fine if you did, but don't pretend to give a shit about victims. You took money from a group that you think was intentionally covering up the abuse of women. You could have spoke up. You could have said, what the fuck? Put me on the story. Why aren't we covering this? It's an open secret. But they didn't. Now you have all these... It's the exact same thing that you saw after the Joe Biden's cognitive decline. All of a sudden, Jake Tapper, yeah, we knew it. Oh, or we were duped. Oh, boy. They do not get... You want to know why they didn't go after Eric Swalwell? Because Eric Swalwell was on their team. That's why. They're all on the same team. The media does not hold truth to power. The media buries the truth for the powerful. That's their job. I saw someone put it this way. It was a quote I thought was pretty clever. The media's job is to cover the news. Cover it with a pillow until it stops moving. So all these fucking people in the media... Oh, wow. Brian Stelter actually came out and said, this is a testament to the power of reporting on these things. No, it's not, motherfucker. It's a testament to how pathetic you assholes are. You could have reported on it 10 years ago. I don't sit here and claim hashtag believe all women. It's never been my thing. I'm going to take a bold stance here. You ready? Women, or for that matter, anyone who's been a victim of sexual assault, I feel terrible for. And they deserve justice. Wow, what a stance, right? Woo, Rob's really taking the hard stance tonight. Oh, boy. That doesn't mean I hashtag believe all women. That doesn't mean that a lot of what a lot of these women call abuse isn't just outright bullshit. It's awkward dating situations and shit like that. But I do feel terrible for women, men, anyone that suffered actual abuse like that. I also think if someone's a sex pest, even if they're not committing crimes, fuck them. If there's a dude at your work that's trying to pinch everyone's ass or sending dick pics to everyone, fuck that guy. Making everyone feel uncomfortable, fuck him. But I don't sit here and grandstand and pretend like I'm some super feminist. But I know a lot of people that do. I told this story in a very short form on the extravaganza earlier, and it's a story I've told on here before. In policy debate in college, it was the left of the left. Like, insanely left-wing. I was a handful of right-wingers that maybe were around. Once I was done debating, I became a coach and a judge. You would judge debates. Now, the way it works is, the tournaments ran out of a room called the tab rooms, what they call it. And this is the room that prints out all the ballots, and it creates the schedule for who's going to debate who and who the judge will be. And there's like algorithms and computer programs that do all this shit. It's beyond me, but whatever. You know? Now, the way it works is, depending on the size of your program in your school, a lot of times your coach is your judge. So I don't want to get too in the weeds here, but consider this. Each team's made up of 2 people. And each round has 2 teams and 1 judge. So that means you're responsible to hire judging for half of the available rounds. So if it's an 8-round tournament and you have 1 team, that team is responsible for 4 rounds of judging. Makes sense, right? So a lot of times what happens is, a small school like I went to, Clarion, you really need your coaches to judge because you don't have a lot of money to hire outside judging. But if you're a bigger school, you probably do. And so what you see is a lot of these bigger schools, their head coaches, they're not judging debates. They hang around. It's like a social event. Or they're doing research to help their team, whatever. Much of the time, they'll hang out in the tab room. So there's this tournament at Clarion University, and I was pretty much out of the debate circuit at that point. But because I lived near the college, that's the college I graduated from, they needed judging. I said, sure, I'll hire myself out for 3 rounds of judging. Like $50 a round or some shit like that. No problem. So I had a round off, and I sat in the tab room. My wife was with me. And there's a bunch of coaches from different programs there. Usually about 2 hours for each debate round, a little more than 2 hours. So you're just sitting in there, and people are shooting the shit. It's fine. Like I said, these people are radically left-wing, right? So they start talking about upcoming tournaments, and they mention a tournament in Binghamton. Now, Binghamton was a very left-wing program. They were vegan, like super, when you went to their tournament, they didn't serve meat. Everything was vegan, and this guy from Boston College, their head coach, he used to literally hire a meat truck to fucking grill meat outside. And so people like me would go eat hamburgers, and the school would get all mad. Binghamton would get all mad because it was supposed to be, you get it, right? Anyways, they're like, oh, did you hear Binghamton's going to have an MMA instructor to teach the women how to defend themselves? I was like, what? They're like, yeah, they're bringing in an MMA instructor, and during time down from debates, he's going to show women some defensive moves. And I was like, against debaters? Like, we're the biggest fucking pussy nerds in the world. And they're like, oh, no, sexual abuse is rampant in the debate community. I was like, really? Oh, yeah, it's terrible. I was like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm fucking sheltered, I don't know. And then they're like, oh, yeah, there's this one guy. He's like the head coach for this big program. And like, he's assaulting some of his students, his female students. Now, granted, this is college, so they're probably like 20, but the allegation was, this isn't that he hooked up with them. It's more than that. It is against their will, he has forced himself sexually on these girls. At least one of them. And I said, I don't believe that. That's probably bullshit. And they said to me, and there's like 3 or 4 people involved in this conversation with me, and they're all in agreement. And the one says, I've seen the evidence. The girl showed me. I said, she showed me texts between him admitting this and threatening her. I said, you saw that? Yeah. I said, did you call the police? And I'll never forget, this woke motherfucking lady coach, super woke, who I'd heard over and over and over again talk about evil pig fucking men that assault women and the need to protect women. You know what she fucking told me? In front of this whole room of people. She said, well, the guy who did it's powerful in the organization, in debate, and I don't want it to cost me my job. And I went fucking ballistic. I was like, fuck you people. You could hear a pin drop. I was like, I listen to you motherfuckers lecture over and over about your progressive values. I was like, I'll be damned. If I knew a girl was being sexually assaulted, that I wouldn't speak up because I was afraid it'd cost me my job. And unlike you motherfuckers, I'm not rich. I still live paycheck to paycheck. But I'd still do it because it's the right fucking thing. Meanwhile, you people stand on your soapbox and lecture all of us rednecks and conservatives about how anti-women we are, and you claim to know a young girl that's being sexually assaulted and not say a fucking thing because it might hurt you financially. Fuck you. And I stormed out of the room. And my poor wife was in there, like, in her headphones, didn't know what I was yelling about. And was like, and had to, like, follow me out. Boy, did it fucking piss me off. Now, the truth is, there's a 95% chance that the whole story's bullshit. They didn't see no evidence. They're just talking a big game. They're gossiping. But if you're going to double down and be like, no, I saw the evidence, okay, then why didn't you fucking report it? That's non-negotiable. I was a debate coach. If one of my students came to me and was like, here is evidence that another one of the coaches sexually assaulting me, I'll guarantee that girl would have not left my site until there was law enforcement in the room. There is 0 chance that I would have had that occur. Even if she protested it, I was calling the police. And yet, round after round, day after day, I had to listen to these fucking left-wing lunatics tell me what a bad person I am. By the way, at that same tournament, Trump had just won. You want to know what the big conversation was? Trump said, grab him by the pussy. Oh, my God. You guys are admitting to covering up a sexual assault. I should stop yelling. I'm going to wake up myself. That's what it's like today to watch this Eric Swalwell shit. All these Democrats and members of the media, we've known for years. We've known it for years. Oh, thank goodness, justice. Thank goodness we're reporting this, and justice is finally coming for these women. Motherfucker, if you knew for years, why didn't you say anything? How about this? Yeah, you heard some scuttlebutt, but I didn't know if it was true or not, so I didn't say anything. I still don't know if it's true. How about that? No, that doesn't sound good, though, does it? Oh, we knew. We knew. If only there was someone whose job it was to investigate and report. Man, that would have been useful, huh? We've had that congressional slush fund. Who knows how many times it's been used? Congress votes against, overwhelmingly releasing the names on it. Where are the reporters? Where are they? They couldn't wait to report a false allegation about Trump banging a hooker on a bed that pissed on him because Obama one time used that bed. We all heard that story. Media reported on that breathlessly. Turned out to be utter bullshit. But we heard about that, didn't we? It's such a fucking joke. That's why, listen, I understand there are people on the right that are fucking pissed off about Trump's handling of the Epstein files. The initial way he handled it, for me, is indefensible. That doesn't mean that I think that that's proof that Trump committed heinous crimes with children in Epstein Island. I'm not saying that. But his handling of it was dog shit. Pam Bondi's was dog shit. She should have been fired day one. But the buck stops with Trump. Especially because he didn't fire. Criticize away. But I'll be damned if I'm going to listen to Democratic politicians that are covering up all this shit, all of a sudden grandstand on they give a shit about victims. They do not give a fuck. They don't care. Does this victim help us politically? Sure. Then let's raise their voice. Does it harm us politically? Shut them the fuck up. That's it. It doesn't go deeper than that. And the press is just an extension of our establishment political class. Yes, that includes some Republicans. If you go outside the line, if you start saying shit that the establishment groups don't like, well, now all of a sudden the press is interested in your affair. They're interested in that dick pic you sent. So it's a good day to watch all these Democrats and the Democrat pundits and the left-wing people on X going, oh, we hold our side accountable. You don't do shit. You think Eric Swalwell was the only one? If some Democrat gets busted tomorrow, they'll be like, we've known for 10 years. But they ain't saying shit today, are they? But at the end of the day, I'll say this. Fuck Eric Swalwell. One of the most annoying, grandstanding pieces of shit ever to grace Capitol Hill. Live by the sword, die by the sword, motherfucker. It was all fun and games when Kavanaugh was crying and his life was being destroyed over bullshit allegations. So good luck to you, sir. Fuck off. I'll still judge based on the evidence I see in front of me, but I'll be damned if I'm losing sleep over this motherfucker that engaged in these exact same type of politics, now having the eye of Sauron turned on him. Fuck you, buddy. Good luck. That's how I feel. Let's hope he can still afford some hookers, some Chinese hookers, after he gets fucking booted out of Congress, huh? All right. Zapolaba. $5 says Alyssa Milano reminds her kids of the horrors of the world at bedtime. Are you a good parent? I do everything I can to keep my son happy. It's actually, now fuck Alyssa Milano, but it's actually, as a parent, it's something I think about. Because at some point you have to be honest with your kids, right? You have to let them know there are dangerous things. Strangers are dangerous, right? You should wear clothes. There are certain parts of your body that's for no one else to see, right? You know, shit like that. Why? It's tough to see a kid. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like being a father, you know, and to watch a kid with all this fucking just unbridled optimism and happiness for the world. You know, how do you break to them? Like, there's shitty things out there. For him, it's still monsters, right? Are monsters real? No. You know, but some animals can be dangerous. If you see, like, even a deer out in the wild, don't go near it, you know? You start with stuff like that, and as they get older, I guess. But yeah, fuck Alyssa Milano. How about all these people poisoning their fucking kids into depression, telling them they're all going to die of climate change and shit? It's fucking monstrous. It really is. My goodness. Craftsman Ethos. $5. Thanks so much, says Rob. I'm 9 years sober. Congrats, man. Please don't let this set you back. It won't define you. Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you. And then Craftsman again, thanks. $5 says, Katie Porter's districts in Orange County was notorious for dropping off homeless people in Santa Ana. Santa Ana sued all the cities she was over. You know, Katie Porter put out a statement and was like, oh, these allegations are terrible, and I respect that Swalwell's resigning. May these women get justice. Katie Porter herself was arrested for domestic assault for attacking her husband with scalding mashed potatoes. She's a fucking lunatic. Now she's going to be the front runner for governor. So imagine the chutzpah it has to be charged with domestic assault, grandstanding on, wow, can you believe that my opponent is accused of this shit? Fuck you too. Penny Pincher Joe, $5 says, who bang Fang Fang? Love you, Rob. Thank you. Yeah, poor Fang Fang. She'll have to find another congressman now, huh? Intel Wild, $5 says, Eazy-E was the last respectful gangster raptor, Rob. I know me some Eazy-E. Mrs. D, $8 says, if you don't smash like now, you love Brian Shapiro. Hi, Rob. Mrs. Knorr. I don't know if Mrs. Knorr's on here tonight, but thank you, Mrs. D. And AJC, $5 says, here in Arizona, Peoria School District, 2 female teachers messed with students. Teachers and principal knew about it, trying to hush it because they're female. Yeah. You hear these stories all the time. True story. Like, everybody laughs at the mashed potatoes. This is a true story. So I met this interesting character. I like the guy. I still do. But he's a fucking character. Like, there are people in line, like, did you ever watch Seinfeld? Like Kramer's a character, right? You know what I mean? It's like, he's just a character. He's a weird. There are people like that in real life that are just fucking like, this guy's a character. So I won't use the guy's name. And I know he watches me sometimes. So he might not like me telling this story, but I don't give a shit. But he's fun. He's a friend of mine. He's older than me. But he's a bartender. And he just was a fucking weird guy. In a good way. I liked him. But fucking weird. Right? Like, all these fucking crazy stories. And you never knew if he was bullshitting you, if he was telling the truth. He was a weird guy. He started dating this girl. So, like, I met him at a halfway house. We rented this place. So there was this place. We called it, because of the street it was on, the street address, we called it the Dirty 30. And basically, our group of friends have had this apartment for like 8 years. And it was just a fucking booze house. It was crazy. No one signed a lease. As long as you gave the landlord that $550 at the end of the month, he didn't give a fuck. It was next to a community action building, right? They were adjacent. So, like, I started hanging out there, and then within 2 or 3 months, I'm looking for a new place to rent. I end up renting the place, and as we're there, the house right next to it's a halfway house from people that have, like, been left out of jail for various crimes. So the first story that happened was there was this guy. He had this, like, shitty, wispy, flowing blonde hair and this big fucking blonde mustache. And he drove this, like, 70s panel van that was beat to shit. So we called him Van Man. And we'd be drinking our ass out. Like, off on the porch, we'd be just fucking getting hammered. Waved to Van Man, no problem. One day, Van Man walks over. He's like, you guys mind if I have a beer? Now, I know damn well this guy's in a halfway house, and probably it's a violation of his parole or probation to have a beer. And I don't know what the fuck this guy's crime is. He could be a fucking bank robber. He could be a molester. I don't fucking know. I don't want to set this guy back down a path by giving him a fucking beer. But we gave him the beer. And so then, like, a couple days later, this other guy comes over. We'll call him, what can I call him? We'll call him Bruno. That wasn't his name, but Bruno comes over and we meet him. He starts hanging out. And he's fun. He's a fun guy to hang out with. So eventually, as people move along, I ended up being the only person paying rent at this place. There'd be people filtering in and out. And Bruno was like, hey, man, can I live here? I'm moving out of the halfway house. So he just slid across the street and he moved in with us, right? And so he was there, and we had all kinds of crazy fucking adventures and whatever. Like one time, me and my friend Tito, I was telling you about the other night, we got all shit-faced, and we were watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, and there's a trick-or-treat episode where they call Larry a bald asshole. I don't remember any of this, but I wake up, it's like 9 a.m, I'm hungover, and Bruno's shaking me. He's like, get up! I was like, what? He's like, did you write shit in my house yesterday? I was like, no. And he grabs my hand, and both my hands are completely black with soot and charcoal. He's like, come here. Here we fucking took our grill, our charcoal grill, and dumped it out, and then took all the soot from the charcoal, and we wrote bald asshole on the side of the house in real big letters. And I was caught because I didn't remember doing it, but I was like, oh yeah, that must have been me. So, yeah. So anyways, Bruno decides he's going to move in with us. And then, as it's getting evident that I'm going to be moving out and shit, he brings this girl along. And this girl claims her job is she's a magician. It's her claim. She's a fucking flake. She's a weird chick. And she starts telling us this story that she was a hero in Florida. They wrote about her in all of these papers because there was taxi drivers that were showing up at the airport in Florida, and they would pick you up to take you to your destination, but then they wouldn't. And they would take you somewhere and they would rob you. And this taxi man did this to her, and she fought him and won. And like beat him unconscious and called the police. And she was hailed as this local hero. Now, a friend of mine that's listening to this story, he's still a good friend of mine. He was a newspaper reporter. That was his job for a local small town. So he was like, I'd love to do a write-up on you. Sure. She gives him the name of the fucking airport and all this shit. So my buddy calls the airport. They're like, yeah, that never happened. No. She just completely made this fucking story up. Crazy. So that's just to give you a little background on Bruno and his magician girlfriend. Just a fucking nut. So I had like a month left to live in this place. I knew I was moving out, and I was working crazy hours doing the home healthcare stuff. And I'd get in. Some days I'd be at work 3 days in a row. The guy I was taking care of was a really big, strong, violent guy, and he was manic. So he might only sleep 2 hours in a 3-day period. And I couldn't sleep unless he was sleeping, because if I fall asleep and he wakes up, he'd beat the shit out of me. So you had to be alert. So what they would do is they'd try to send you home every once in a while so you can get like a full 8 hours of sleep. So I'd get home at like 4 a.m. and then have to be back to work at noon or some shit. So I get home one day, it's like 2, and Bruno's there with his lady, and I'm like, I gotta go to bed. Hope you guys are having a good night. About an hour later, I just hear this thud, 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 thud. And then there'd be a pause, and I hear screaming. Thud, thud. Like, I mean, it's 5 minutes. And I'm pissed. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? I thought they were just arguing or they were fucking like slamming beers around or something. I was pissed off though. I was fucking livid. Now my room was, you went up the stairs and my room was right there. It was right across from the stairs. If you go down the stairs and then you, right underneath my room would have been the kitchen and the living room's in between. So I'm like, all right, I'm fucking go down there. I'm going to tell these motherfuckers I'm trying to sleep. I have to be back at work. I come down the stairs and I turn and there's the magician girl and she's holding a butcher knife and just stabbing it into the fucking wall. And Bruno had left. She's just screaming at no one. Stabbing this fucking wall. And I'm like, what the? And she turns and looks at me and goes, what? And I was like, nothing. I was just grabbing a bottle of water. And I just went up to the kitchen, got a bottle of water, and went back upstairs and locked my fucking door and went to bed. It was like, what the fuck? So that's this chick. Anyways, a long way of getting back to the mashed potatoes. I move out, right? I haven't seen Bruno for like 3-4 months. He's picked up the lease. Again, it wasn't a lease. He just stayed there and kept paying the rent and moved the magician chick in with him. So one day, me and was my girlfriend at the time, now wife, we were like, hey, we should go visit Bruno. Have a couple beers. See what he's up to. Sure. So we drive through the parking lot and we get there and there's a bunch of fucking cops. So they like, yeah, what do you need? And we were like, oh, we were here to see Bruno. And they were like, he's busy. And that was it. And we were like, huh, wonder what happened there. So we just went home. That was that. Then we found out a couple days later what happened. Well, the magician chick had a pet ferret. And apparently she left this ferret in the care of Bruno and it died. Now he claims it was just, he was feeding it. He didn't do anything wrong. I'm sure her version would be different, that she blamed it. Nonetheless, when she got back, she beat the fuck out of him to the point where he had to be taken away in an ambulance with a frozen pork chop. She got charged with assault for beating the fuck out of this guy with a frozen pork chop. That is an honest-to-goodness true story. So my buddy Bruno had to go in an ambulance because his face was all fucked up because his magician girlfriend beat the shit out of him with a frozen pork chop. So for all of you laughing about a woman attacking a man with scalding hot mashed potatoes, I have witnessed a friend of, well, I didn't see it, but I know of a friend of mine that got the shit beat out of him with a frozen pork chop. Absolutely true. Apparently she also hit him with a clothing iron in the middle of this. But yes, the majority of the damage was frozen pork chop. So I guess if you're in a pinch and someone breaks into your house, consider frozen pork chop as a weapon. So, but Bruno, if you're watching, I hope everything's good. Maybe I'll see you soon. Is Bruno a masochist? He's a weird fucking guy. Another story about him real quick. I always thought this was bullshit. He would tell these stories and it was just bullshit, right? And he told us this story. He would get these checks. Not huge, but like $160 or something. He'd get these checks. Oh, my check came. We get cash bill. Let's go get some booze, right? Or let's go get fucking, hamburgers. No one ever fucking, what the fuck? Because he worked. He was a bartender. So what's this check? And then we're talking to him one night. We're drunk. We're like, what's your check from? He's like, well, I don't like to talk about it. We're like, come on. So he told us the story. And he was like, he was at a bachelor party. And it was one of these deals where they rented like a party bus. And he was friends with the bachelor. And they were going to all these strip clubs in Pittsburgh. And there was like 12 of them or something. And they hired this driver who's obviously supposed to stay sober and just drive you to bars or to the strip clubs. So they're at this strip club and apparently there's a hubbub and they get kicked out. So they get in the bus and they're like, everyone here, wait a minute, the one guy's not here. So Bruno gets off the party bus, goes, tracks down the guy. The guy's stumbling, bumbling or some shit. He's like, just get in the bus. I'll find your fucking coat or whatever. So he goes back in the establishment to find this coat and comes out and the bus is pulling out. Now, my man here isn't from, he don't have a car. He's not from Pittsburgh. This is his ride back to the hotel. So he runs down the sidewalk trying to flag the bus down and the bus makes a right turn and hops the curb and fucking ran over my buddy. And he lifts up his shirt and he's got this big fucking scar, like at the bottom of his stomach. He's like, yeah, the fucking bus ran over me. And we're like, bullshit. He's like, swear to God. And so he sued them for some amount, like $80,000 or something. And he got like half of it as an upfront sum. And then they would send him these checks, like the Bobby Bonilla treatment. That dude's probably still getting checks from getting ran over by this party bus. I was like, bullshit. And then like 2 days later, he's like, come here. He shows me all his legal paperwork. Absolutely 100% truthful. Of all the bullshit stories he told, like that one was true. It was like, I got ran over by a fucking drunk bus and sued them. Yeah. So he's a weird guy. He really was. And then he got the shit beat out of him with a frozen pork chop. So take that for what you will. Yeah, Bobby Bonilla, genius. But yeah, that was the Dirty 30, man. There's some stories. That was a wild fucking place, man. Wild place. So I didn't particularly like the magician chick that was beating the shit out of people with pork chops. I'm assuming I won't like Katie Porter that's dumping scalding hot mashed potatoes on people. Yeah, you got Bruno's a fun guy, but you know, friends like that, it's like they're fun to visit. To live with's another thing. Right? That's different. A lot of these friends, they're fun. They'd say the same about me, though, right? You can't live like that long term. If I lived like I did back then, oh my goodness, I'd be dead. I wouldn't have made it to 40. Just the crazy shit we did that was dangerous, the fucking drinking, eating like shit, just as unhealthy as you could fucking imagine. Terrible. And I'm not glorifying it, but it was okay to visit. If you visit something like that, it's okay. You know? Other stories to cover today. I'm going to hold back on the story, the Tulsi Gabbard story. So Tulsi released basically proof that the fucking first impeachment of Trump over the Zelensky phone call was horseshit and that it was corrupt. You know? But we'll cover that tomorrow or so. I know at least one of my friends from the Dirty 30s watches frequently. I know it. And I'll bet he's like, uh-huh. And people think like it's bullshit. I'm telling you, man. I got some shorter stuff. I don't know why this popped into my feed. It's always one of my all-time favorite things to watch, so I'm going to make you watch it. I had a great extravaganza today with my man, Jake Rattlesnake. And Jake was giving me shit because I was talking about Long John Silvers and hush puppies. Oh, fucking Australian. We're not like you fucking Americans with all your fried food and shit. So I thought I would give you an oldie but a goodie, my favorite, anytime my Australian friend, the himbo Jake Rattlesnake, starts talking shit about any country. Why don't we see what Australia's up to, shall we? May all of your dreams come true. You're laughing. That's the fucking dude that hacked my X account, you know? Imagine being some Aborigine, like, yeah, this dude in a dress is going to pretend to be a woman and play the piano. They'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Fuck you, Jake. My country's not that bad, right? How do you know what to trust today, right? When it comes to data shit. Actually, before we get into that, this is a great. So remember old blackface Justin Trudeau? Now that he's out of office and Carney took over, did you know Trudeau's dating the singer Katy Perry? There he is in blackface on the right. Here he is with Katy Perry. At Coachella. Now, I obviously didn't come up with this. I saw someone put this on X. But you want to know what's notable about this? You want to know the funniest part about that? Where's my Canadian friends? They might know what's funny about this. Anybody from Canada know what's outrageous about this picture? Let's see. Oh, yeah, F them. F Trudeau. They suck. Yes, that's right. Forkunas nails it. They're drinking out of plastic cups, which Trudeau banned in Canada. This fucking guy ruins Canada, bans plastic cups, and then gets out of office, immediately goes to the United States, hooks up with the U.S. pop star, and starts drinking booze out of a plastic fucking cup. You can't think of a metaphor better for the fucking disastrous globalist policies that have been following Canada. That about sums it up. Now, if I was Canadian and I had my choice between drinking a delicious beverage out of a plastic cup or hooking up with Katy Perry, you're damn right I'm singing Red Solo Cup till the end of the evening. Fuck that bitch. What an outrage. These motherfuckers, you know? So ridiculous. I don't know. You'd think people would get tired of this. This is what I'm saying. Like, look. If people want to make calculations based on utilitarian calculations and shit like that, this is what's best for society XYZ. That's one thing. It's immoral that these plastic, oh my God, it's hurting the environment. First thing they do is have a fucking plastic cup. It's the same, all the bullshit under COVID. Remember all that? Oh my God, it's so important. My governor, Tom Wolf, don't be a coward to COVID. Stay in your home or you're a coward. Meanwhile, that motherfucker's out marching with Black Lives Matter. Gavin Newsom's eating at the French Laundry. That Beetlejuice-looking fucking bitch from Chicago was closing down hair salons while she's getting her hair done and goes, hygiene's important to me. It's a fucking joke. By the way, for some reason, I could handle celebrities becoming politicians like Reagan and Trump and a bunch of others. That's one thing, and not good probably, but fine, whatever. But it's even worse to have politicians dating celebrities. Isn't that worse? That seems worse. Like, I think I could handle Katy Perry being a politician more than a Canadian prime minister dating Katy Perry. Somehow that's fucking worse. Like, what the fuck? Katy Perry can't do better than Justin Trudeau? All right. That's sort of a nothing story. I just thought it was funny. Here, just in case you wondered about their solo cups. Oh, eating some ramen, too. Nice. He's a cool, hip guy. Turn your fucking hat around. What's he doing? First off, I take umbrage and a guy with a full head of hair wearing a fucking ball cap. Fuck you. You don't know what we go through. Secondly, if you're going to wear the hat, put the fucking brim up front. Unless you're like 15. What's he going to, hey man, we're going to hop on a skateboard and do some dark slides down to the fucking record shop, eh? 6'7". What the fuck is this guy doing? All right. Enough of that. How do you know if a story's true or not? I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm a fucking hypocrite about this. I know the last time I said I was a hypocrite on channel, all the fucking left-wingers I debate had to do episodes on, oh my God, Rob claims he's been a hypocrite. Yeah, no shit. Unlike them, right? The difference is I try my best not to be, and I'm honest. But tell me if you don't fall into this category. Oftentimes when government puts numbers out, you're like, I don't believe that. These numbers are bullshit. But then sometimes you cite those numbers as if they're not bullshit when they benefit your argument. I've done that. Same with polls. I'll be like, these polls are fucking bullshit. But then if I'm like, well, this one shows something interesting, I think we all do that to some degree. So a lot of it's sort of a gut feeling. Right? But one thing I do, and this isn't 100%, so don't quote me that this is always the case. Oftentimes, though, I was talking about this tangentially with Jake on the extravaganza today. Scott Adams used to talk about this. He's like, oftentimes the story's not what matters. It's the players that matter. So he would talk about, like, the designated liars. When the Democrats would bring Adam Schiff out, you knew they were lying. Because he knew the players. He knew what Adam Schiff's role was. So that's a lie. Adam Schiff's out there saying it, right? And he's right a lot about that. Oftentimes, if you know the players. So, for example, we talked a lot today on the extravaganza about Viktor Orban losing the Hungary election. Now, I read that the guy that beat him is a center-right figure who was running to the right of Orban on immigration. In other words, he was going to be even more anti-immigrant. And I saw people immediately say that. I was like, that's interesting. Maybe he's for bigger social policies or something, like more welfare state, but he's even more hardline anti-immigrant. Possible. And then I knew it was all bullshit. You want to know when I knew? As soon as I saw the following, I was like, yeah. Bullshit. This is how I knew that Hungary's fucked. Wrong post. Barack Obama says, the victory of the opposition in Hungary yesterday, like the Polish election in 2023, is a victory for democracy, not just in Europe, but around the world. Most of all, it's a testament to the resilience and determination of the Hungarian people, and a reminder to all of us to keep striving for fairness, equality, and rule of law. And you see Alex Soros. The people of Hungary have taken back their country, a resounding rejection of entrenched corruption and foreign interference. Now, it would still behoove me to do research if I really gave a shit about this particular Hungarian politician who won. But I'm probably not going to do it because on the grand scheme of shit, probably not the most important story to me right now. But I'd say I could make a pretty fucking good hypothesis that this motherfucker sucks. That he's a globalist sack of shit based on Obama and the Soroses cheering him on. What sounds like me. Sounds like Hungary's fucked. Sounds like, oh boy, get ready for those immigrants. Hope you like 5 prayers a day. That's what it sounds like to me. Because I know the players. Now, what about a story that is more important? What about one that relies on data, and it's here domestically, which I care much more about than foreign policy? Let me just ask you all straight up. Has Trump been doing a good job on immigration? I don't know. I don't know what number. Do I put it past the Trump administration to bullshit us about the numbers? No. So when, for example, when we hear, oh, it's negative migration, is it? When we see the deportation numbers, when we see the border crossing numbers, do you believe it? I don't know. If the numbers were accurate, then I could make an assessment and say, But do I even believe the numbers? But I do know the players. And this is one of the fucking most optimistic stories I've seen in a long time. This is the Cato Institute. And they put out an article today that says Trump has cut legal immigration more than illegal immigration. As I predicted, while illegal entries have fallen, they continued a prior trend, falling more before he came back. Meanwhile, Trump has cut legal entries, reversing the prior upward trend. That's the best fucking pro-Trump story I've heard in a month. Yes, if open borders, Cato's like, this is very worrying. Trump's even cutting back more on legal immigration. I'm like, oh shit, maybe there's something to that. Great. I wouldn't have believed it if it was a pro-Trump guy that said it. But the fucking Cato Institute that hates Trump, it's like, oh, maybe. Amazing. And I was reading other shit that went with this. By the way, the claim that it's continuing a trend of getting illegals out is horseshit. Anyone with any brain whatsoever knows what happened. For 3 years under the Biden administration, they left record numbers of illegals come through the southern border. And then during an election year, they pretended to give a shit and reissued the very executive orders that they bragged about repealing day one of the Biden administration. So they could say, see, we got a handle on the border. We were trending in the right direction. So fucking transparent. But of course, Cato that wants open borders is going to go along with that excuse. Here's the graph. This guy says H-1Bs are down by an estimated 25% thanks to Trump. But that includes renewals. The decline for new visas is estimated to be around 90%. H-1B visas for skilled workers are also down, largely because Trump imposed a $100,000 fee to hire any new H-1B entering from abroad. Most H-1B visas issued abroad are renewals, so the decline for new visas is likely closer to 90%. See Biden's year, the blue, 2024. Now, is it enough? Would I like to see more? Of course. But hey, why shouldn't we praise when something good that's being done? That's obviously trending in the right direction. Just like it's trending in the right direction that we're firing more and more federal employees. That's good. It's not perfect. But it's good. I know there's a lot of people that are super black-pilled in Trump, and I understand. I don't like this foreign policy shit, and I was complaining about it before Maduro. I was like, Trump spent the last 3 months focused almost exclusively on foreign policy. And it's true. I do feel that he spent too much time there. And there were things domestically that I thought were left wanting. Still do. But to be fair, shouldn't we look at the positives as well? What if those net migration numbers are true? That we're seeing for the first time in 50 years, more people leaving the United States than entering. That's something. Nothing's perfect except for Chris Lestrange. Well, who could argue with that? Trump said a lot of shit about certain illegals that should stay. He's fucking bad. That's bad, Trump. Trump said shit about, we have to allow these Chinese students to come in. That's bad, Trump. People in Trump's administration have talked about the importance of H-1B. That's bad, Trump. But the numbers are trending in the right direction. Trump did institute that $100,000 penalty. I remember that. I was like, that's great. And then there was all this, yeah, but there's workarounds and blah, blah, blah. Maybe so. But if it's resulting in a precipitous less amount of H-1Bs, that's good. Some 300,000 foreign CDLs have been revoked. That's good. That's good shit. Now we'll see. There's a lot to say about Straits of Hormuz, what's going on in Iran and shit. Look, as I said last week, sounds good, ceasefire, yay. Then we hear J.D. Vance coming back saying, yeah, not shit going on here. Then we hear, well, Trump's blockading Iran's blockade. Now this is specifically set up so that basically any ship that comes through cannot meet the demands of both Iran and the United States simultaneously. It's not possible. So it basically brings things to a standstill. Forces Iran to be like, well, you can't do exactly what we're doing. The fuck we can't, says the Trump administration. Meanwhile, it's starting to show cracks that there's sort of a broad international coalition that's like, yeah, okay, we're largely going to be with the United States on the straits here. And now we see ships that are coming to the United States to fill up on U.S. oil. In other words, and now there's rumors that Iran wants to come back to the table because they feel their leverage is running. All of that may be bullshit. 2 days from now, we could see Trump bombing at an unprecedented pace and boots on the ground. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, I know this is exactly how it'll work. My guess is this is going to string on for another month or two, as I've said, but I'm not super confident in that. But if things don't get that bad and the United States becomes more of a key partner when trading of energy, and oil prices go back down before the election, and real wage growth's up, all of a sudden things aren't looking so bad. Yeah, there's a bunch of oil tankers coming to Texas, yeah. So, we'll see. It's time for me to pay the bills and read some super chats. Balder Asgard, 50-somethings. Thank you again, my friend. Really appreciate it. Nico Pluto, $10. Thank you. Now, I've tried my best today, thus far, to put my trauma behind me and put on a good show. I talked to my therapist that said I should try getting some $100 plus donations. We haven't got any yet. Tragic. But I think maybe it'll help release some of my trauma if I once more play the song that I wrote about Penisgate. So I'll ask you to bear with me.
Humbly debating folks online, talking politics and chatting about life. When I got noticed by the coolest of chats, a radio host with an image that was rad. But then things turned and I got burned. He got angry when he got spurned. Brian Shapiro asked to see my penis. He growled his demand like it was his deepest wish. He threatened to box me and proceeded to berate. And now I'm the victim of this terrible penis gate. I cried to myself in my second floor attic. My entire life just now feels like it's static. He says it's about a thing called respect, but it treats me as if I'm just an object. He said he wants to help me, but he just wants to see my weenie. Brian Shapiro asked to see my penis. He growled his demand like it was his deepest wish. He threatened to box me and proceeded to berate. And now I'm the victim of this terrible penis gate. Brian Shapiro asked to see my penis. He growled his demand like it was his deepest wish. He threatened to box me and proceeded to berate. And now I'm the victim of this terrible penis gate.
It's hard to get over it. I try my best. I think just getting my story out there and being open and honest and talking about it. When you have a powerful man like that, a syndicated radio host, 15 million people a day listen to his radio program. When you have someone that powerful that demands to see your penis, it's hard. It's very hard. All right. Maybe reading and receiving super chats will help. I don't know. I'll try here. Fartin Spartan, thank you for the $20. As Brian Shapiro is never going to beat the allegations. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. Baxter Boy, thank you. $5. Really appreciate it. Thank you. It's about respect. It is about respect, isn't it? Thank you, guys. Your thoughts mean a lot to me. It really does. Well, seeing as how it's been such a traumatic evening, we're going to get to the part of the show where I give people a chance to play stupid-ass whip wheel songs, or for that matter, any other song that you would like in my extensive library. $150 to spin the whip wheel. Or, I'm sorry, $100 to spin the whip wheel. $150 to request a specific one. I would stay with you longer. I have more stories, but I actually have stuff to do tomorrow morning. It's a big day for my son. He gets a haircut, and I think I'm going to get one too. So I've got some house stuff to do in the meantime. Now, you're not going to believe this, but I owe 0 whip songs as of right now. How about that? How about it? Kind of unusual, but okay. So we'll give it a couple minutes, and then I'll be honest with you guys. All joking aside from the trauma that I'm experiencing through Penisgate, we're a man with a syndicated radio show who has 25 million people a day listen to his show. demanded to see my penis. It's tough. It's tough. But I'll get through it. However, all that aside, I can't thank you all enough for your incredible generosity. I just hope that you guys know that it's sort of, I'm supposed to ham it up a little and try to get donos and stuff because it is my job. But even if you guys never sent $1, it would just mean I'd have to go back to working a full-time job and stream less. But it's all right. It's all right. I can't believe how generous you've all been already. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Paul, thanks so much. $2 for my SA kit. My super annoying drum kit. Yeah, thank you. I could use some new sticks for it. Buddha Customs, $2. This is almost sadder than Atreyu in the swamp. Was that? Oh, man. You're really testing me. Is that the horse's name from Legend? Am I right? With Tom Cruise? I think I'm right. What a poll, if that's right. I might have been the only one in the chat that knew that. Oh, Never Ending Story? Oh, piss. Never mind, I was wrong. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? The movie Legend? Now, wait a minute. Now, look at this. Buddha's saying I'm right. You guys are saying it's Never Ending Story. Yeah, Tim Curry's in Legend. I'm looking it up, you sons. Okay, it is the Never Ending Story. It was a unicorn legend, yeah. Atreyu was a band. I did know that. Well, I'm an idiot. Free whip song? Because you were right? What? Yeah, Tim Curry is that frightening. Tim Curry is amazing. As far as I'm concerned, the single best line in the history of acting is Tim Curry. My all-time favorite.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
It's so good. It's such a ridiculous line. He has to compose himself. And the fact that they went with that take, they were like, yeah, that's it. That's the take. Atreyu's the boy's name, not the horror. Oh, okay. Yeah, Clue's a great movie. Tim Curry, he was in Clue. He was the original clown in It. Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah, he's done a ton of shit. He's great. Yeah, Clue, the concept of the end of the movie Clue, where there were 3 different endings depending on what theater you saw it in, that's a great idea. I always, see, if I became a ridiculous, especially with AI, this is doable now, right? I always thought it would be neat. Take a classic movie, like Rocky IV. Rocky beats the Russian. If we could learn to live together, then we all can. You know, he ends the Cold War, you know? And it's always airing on some TV channel, TBS or some shit, right? So you're watching it through the commercials and shit. Without advertising it, without saying anything, just change the ending. Just randomly. Because there's going to be a handful of people that see that and then never show it again. Just have the Russian win. And people are going to be like the 20 people that see it are going to be like, wait, what the fuck? The Russian won? Drago won? And they're going to swear it happened. And everybody's going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's no version of Rocky IV where Drago won. I saw that shit. I was watching on TBS at my grandma's house. I'd do that shit all the time. I'd be constantly monkeying with shit just to fuck with people. Like, I think it'd be clever. All right. That's right. Mandela effects in real time. That's probably what happened. Okay. Who's streaming tonight that we could raid over to? Rest of the week, we're going to have some great shows. Tomorrow will be a normal show. I believe I'll be doing the extravaganza at 6 p.m. with either Andrew or Jake on the Crucible's Rumble channel. Then I'll be doing my show at 10 p.m. We're probably, unless some news breaks, going to talk about the Tulsi Gabbard stuff with the original Trump impeachment. Then I wanted to talk about Trump's battle with the Pope. Oh, I did promise someone I would talk about Trump in the Painting with Jesus. I don't like it. I don't. But at the end of the day, it's like, Trump's an offensive piece of shit, and I'm not going to clutch my pearls. You know? So, Wednesday, 8 p.m., I'll interview my hacker friend, apparently. That's still going to happen. Thursday, no prep debate. And I probably won't be streaming Friday or Saturday because I have an thing. I'm going to a friend's place. A good friend of mine is having their first child. And so the ladies are doing a baby shower, and the guys, we're going to go out to the bar and celebrate. I'm very excited. Nothing makes me happier than seeing my friends get married and have kids. So I'm super excited. So I probably won't be around Friday, Saturday. We'll see. Maybe I will be able to do something through the phone or whatever. For tonight, who are we rating? Well, who's on? Oh, Cool Vic. Looks like he's talking a little Brian Shapiro. No shit. Atrex was the horse, or Artex was the horse. Okay. Well, Brian Shapiro won tonight. I'll have to tell my therapist I did not receive enough donations to get this trauma out of me. What can you do? It's all right. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that helps me out. Thanks to my editor, Black Elk. Thank you so much to all of my moderators who are amazing. Thanks to everyone who donated, everyone who listens to a trauma-filled, destroyed person like myself, the victim of Penisgate. Someone, a syndicated radio host that has 100 million people a day watch, 100 million people a day, and asked to see my penis. Thank you for supporting me through these trying times. I appreciate it. We're going to raid over to Cool Vic, so enjoy the raid over there. Before we go, though, if I could, in a moment of seriousness, we have our fun. Please say a prayer for Charlie Kirk and his family. Regardless of what you think and the circumstances around his death, never forget that he was killed not for being extreme, but because of how effective he was and how it was celebrated, and that's what the stakes are that we're dealing with. So please, just say a prayer, if nothing else, for him and his young daughters, and if you feel like it, for Erica. Every time I watch this outro, man, the clip where his daughter runs to him, fucking brutal. Absolutely brutal. So say a prayer for them. We're going to raid over to Cool Vic. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all the support. We will see you all tomorrow. As always, have a good one.
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things, for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better, the pursuit of liberty and freedom. You know what gives me strength? hundreds of thousands of you that say, Charlie, keep going.
1 Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God of all.